What is going on, guys? My name is Alex, Mr. Snitchy, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Madsen MG, the Trench variant, the Storm variant, and the low weight variant. If you guys like this video, subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the video. So first up we have the Trench variant of the Madsen MG. It does 23 damage out to about 15 meters, and then you start your damage drop off. By the time you hit 29-ish meters, it's going to be doing 17.5 damage a bullet, meaning that anything up to 22 meters is going to do 5 shots to kill, and 23 and above is a 6 shot to kill. The rate of fire on this weapon is decent for the class at 540 rounds a minute. The muzzle velocity on this weapon is average for the support class at 800 meters a second. The magazine size on this weapon is 30 in a magazine and 1 in the chamber for a total of 31 rounds. The reload on this weapon is okay. It's 4.2 seconds if it's completely empty, and you save about 2 seconds if you do a reload with anything left in the magazine at about 2.45 seconds. So, in my opinion, always try to do a halfway reload with at least 1 bullet in the magazine. Recoil on this weapon is actually pretty high at 0.38 up and 0.3 left and right, with a first shot multiplier of 1.9, meaning that that first bullet out of your burst is going to kick like a mule, and the other ones aren't going to kick as bad. The ADS on this weapon is not too bad. It's 24 milliseconds if you're not moving, and it's 56 milliseconds if you are moving. The spread decrease on this weapon is in the higher range of the LMGs at a negative 0.12. All 3 variants can equip the same 2 sights, so your basic iron sight or your AA sight. I personally use both, only reason saying is because of the top loading magazine that does take up quite a bit of screen real estate. Nothing to do about there. One other thing before we move into the next variant, the Storm variant, is that the Trench variant does have a smaller hipfire cone than both of the other variants. Well, let's move on to the next variant, the Storm variant. The Storm variant of the Madsen MG shares the same exact stats across the board as the Trench variant with 2 changes. Change 1, you have about a 70% better recoil, so it's a 0.266 up and a 0.21 left and right. First shot multiplier stays the same, and the other change you have is you have a bigger hipfire than the Trench variant. I can't tell you how much bigger because I really don't have the stats for that, but without wasting any more time, let's move on to the low weight variant. The final variant for the Madsen MG is the low weight variant. This shares stats across the board with the Trench and with the Storm, with 2 changes. The first change is that it has the same exact recoil stats as the Trench variant, which is a 0.38 up and a 0.3 left and right. The second change to it would be that it has a better decrease to its spread per shot at a 0.15 instead of the 0.12. Both are negative, of course. Also, the Madsen MG low weight comes with a bipod, which the other 2 variants just had a foregrip, so this one you can actually sit on the ground and get even better results out of. Well, let's move on to the comparison from the Lewis gun low weight and the Madsen MG low weight. So when we compare the Madsen low weight and the Lewis gun low weight, the first thing I noticed is the Madsen has 2 more points of damage in the maximum and the minimum category, meaning that at max the Madsen needs 6 shots to kill, and at max the Lewis gun needs 7 shots to kill, which is something to consider. The fire rate also goes to the Madsen at a healthy 540 to the Lewis gun's 480. However, the Lewis gun does have 17 more rounds in the magazine at a 47 to the Madsen's 31 if you have it completely fully reloaded. The muzzle velocity goes to the Madsen at 800 meters a second, while the Lewis gun is at 740. The reload also goes to the Madsen. If it's completely empty, it is a 4.2 second reload, while the Lewis gun is a 4.5 second reload. And the bullets left in a magazine reload is 2.45 seconds, while the Lewis gun does a 3-second reload. So you're saving on an empty reload about 0.3 of a second, and if you have bullets in the magazine, you're about at a 1/6 of a second difference in reload times. The recoil, however, does go to Lewis gun at its 0.25 up and its 0.18 left and right to the Madsen's 0.38 up and its 0.3 left and right. The first shot recoil multiplier also goes to the Lewis gun at 1.5 to the Madsen's 1.9. The ADS time between these two weapons, if it's not moving, goes to the Lewis gun at 21 milliseconds to the Madsen's 24 milliseconds, but you won't see much difference. And the Madsen also wins in the moving ADS at 59 milliseconds to the Lewis's gun 79 milliseconds. So, in my opinion, just looking at these stats, I'm going to give the winner to the Madsen, just because you don't have to put as many bullets as the Lewis gun into a person to kill them. You shoot a lot quicker, or not a lot, but you shoot a fair amount quicker. The magazine size really didn't bother me. I only had problems when I came across three or four people normally. The reload goes to the Madsen as well, so I'm just gonna give it basically all the Madsen. If you guys are looking for a better weapon to use than the Lewis gun, once you get out of the rank 1, 2, and 3 on the support class, take a Madsen over the Lewis gun, or take basically any weapon that I've covered so far. And if you guys like this, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff, comment down below. And remember, snitches get stitches.